want to know where a city is going, you listen to the architect of its future. Our next speaker is the man people call when they want to invest in the heart of our city. He leads Invest Durban, the investment facilitation authority for the city of Durban. He's worked in private sector investments and public sector investments for over 30 years and holds qualifications from local and international institutions. His actions have made it clear he's not about talk, he is about traction. Ladies and gents, he's the engine behind Invest Durban and here to show us the deals, the data, and our city's destiny. Let's put our hands together for Mr. Russel Curtis.
Eye of the tiger, hey? Oh, my word. Yeah, the choice of the music is quite interesting, but I give the same disclaimer that Winston did. I had nothing to do with the music choice, and I had nothing to do with the words of introduction. My goodness, hey? The architect of investment for Durban, sheepers. I must tell my mother that line. She just thinks I'm a ditch digger, man. Shucks. Yeah. So, Sanbonani Saints. Goeiemôre mense. Greetings, comrades. Giani bengalela egameni lake o Jesu. Ngifunde isiZulu kancane. I'm trying to learn slowly. You need to too. Guten Morgen, hola, bon dia. Good to all be together. So, changing the narrative. I'm hoping to do that with a bit of practical information as to what's happening in the city of Durban. Some of you have seen my slides and presentations before. Okay, it's a bit like death by PowerPoint. You know, I hook you up to the fire hose, turn it on full, and your eyeballs pop out. But don't worry, mine do as well. I thought I'd do something a little bit different and just focus on two particular areas that's going on in your city that very few people know about because it's so new and it's just us government slobs talking to ourselves. But actually it's making a difference, I can assure you. These two things are infants. They're only about a year old. The first one is Inner-City Regeneration Workstreams, ICR Workstreams. The second one, PeWGs, Presidential eThekwini Working Groups. The latter involves business, and I'd invite everyone in the room to help us continue to move the needle in those PeWGs. The former, Inner-City Regeneration Workstreams, doesn't yet involve business. But you'll see as I touch on some of the work streams, I'm trying to give you some handles or opportunities as to where business can come and knock on the door and help get the golden goose going. So these inner city regeneration work streams, there's over a dozen of them. I know it's a bit of a dizzying array, is for me too. Public realm management, property development, inner city entity, bad building program, pedestrianisation, UIPs, which stand for urban improvement precincts. Some of you know about those, where business comes together, you pay a little bit of a levy and you do some nice top-up services. Social housing development, informal trade, safety and security, even inner city ablutions. Please, Lord, can we see people who are going like this, finding a toilet, like a real toilet? That'd be magic. Because none of us want to see more of this. Stakeholder engagement, international events, and even homelessness, church. Homelessness, massive work around homelessness, huge opportunities. I'm not going to touch on all of them, because that really would put you to death with too many slides, but I'm going to touch on quite a few of them. So the likes of that inner city property company agency to try and create a better investor platform for you to partner with the public sector and transform inner city buildings. Public realm management, what's that mumbo jumbo? I also had to look it up. Don't worry, I'll give you a bit of an explanation when we get to that slide. Problem buildings, we know about that. Transport, pedestrianisation, we know about that. Informal trade and the trader bazaars. Inner city ablutions and optimisation of not just buildings but spaces. And I think it was Winston who spoke about dreaming about your city and a vision about your city and envisioning other people about your city. So I'll land on a great dream, a great vision when we get to that point in the presentation. Could be one of the most exciting parts of the presentation. So that number one, it's an inner city property company agency. I've alluded to it already. So where are we with this? Well, the model has already been endorsed by the Executive Management Committee of the City and City Council in terms of institutional restructuring. It's just trying to set up a platform for more public-private partnerships in inner city regeneration. Pre-feasibility is actually done now, and we're looking at interim partnerships. So before that inner city PropCo DevCo is established, what other additional inner city partnerships can we activate with different industry bodies? And please, can it also include KI and ASP? GTAC, Government Technical Advisory Committee, are helping us, and they'll continue to help us. But the opportunity there is business to ask for engagement. You know, sometimes they say, if you don't ask, you don't get. And can I also say, don't take no for an answer. You pay our salaries. So this inner city regeneration work stream, it's focusing on that downtown CBD, broadly defined. You know, sort of the port of Durban to kind of Umgeni River, kind of the beachfront up to, say, Tollgate. So this is the golden goose. And we want that golden goose, we want to help clean her feathers, we want to feed her a bit more, we want to fatten her up, we want her to lay lots of golden eggs and run around with tons of golden chicks. Workstream 2, public realm management. I said I'd explain it. Well, it's largely around green space maintenance, streetscape improvements. So that's the infrastructure, that's cleaning of them, that's the corridors of excellence. My wife and I were walking along a particular street a few days ago, and I saw all this water on the road where we were driving at night. And I wondered, oh dear, is there a burst pipe? No, actually. The cleaning crews were out with their high-pressure jets, and they were spray cleaning the sidewalks along a huge long road, so that in the morning, it's pristine and clear. Let's give them a hand. So this work stream, it's just trying to improve the communication between the different units. You know, we're an incredibly complex city. I don't know if everyone knows some of the headlines of your city. You know, we're about 2,500 square kilometers. We're about 4.5 million people. We're about 100 kilometers of coastline. The metropolitan municipality, thank you for paying your rates to us. My daughter's only got 1 year left of varsity, and I really appreciate if you keep paying so that I can keep paying. You know, if you boycott, I'm going to have to just get up here in tatty shorts and a t-shirt and, you know, have to sell veggies to let her finish her last year. But it's an incredibly complex organization. There's 29,000 employees, and sometimes left hand doesn't know what right hand's doing. Sometimes right hand does half the job and hopes left hand will pick it up. And so this work stream is just trying to bring a bit more cohesion, coordination, cooperation. The progress is now visible. I've just given you that one example that Faye and I saw ourselves. And streamlining, in particular, what they call excavations and reinstatements. What is that? Well, you know, in the CBD, and you've even seen it in your neighborhoods, different companies and contractors come along and just sort of jack up your driveway and your verge and lay stuff. It happens to us even in the CBD. And as it drives us as the executive around the bend as much as it does you two as well. And so we're trying to stop that nonsense and then trying to get our teams that authorize to be in touch with those who are going to police, to be in touch with those who help to repave, to be in touch with those that then reset it back to its proper reinstatement. And what we're doing there is we're presenting pictographic evidence, so pictures, every single week. So the opportunity there is business to get contact information for reporting some of this public realm management issues. Number 3, problem buildings. Well, thus far this year, we've already turned around 13 problem buildings in the downtown CBD via engagement with the owners, and sometimes, yes, there's a bit of stick. So it does involve carrots and sticks. And so we've got the sticks out with 4 court cases in progress. Not necessarily because the owner is delinquent or showing us rude signs, but sometimes because the owner has completely lost control of their own building. It's been hijacked and other tokoloshes are doing naughty things in there. And so we partner sometimes with those owners and we go to court together to try and get the eviction orders and get it back under control and help it spin around. So just in the last, where are we now? We've got we're in our last month of our financial year. So in the last 11 months, we've spun around 13 buildings in the CBD, and you can drive down and see them. I mentioned it is about sticks, and so we've got law enforcement going in there as well. We've had 8 operations removing undocumented occupants. Here's an exciting one, and I know Kendall is going to rash me afterwards. We've identified 149 government-owned sites in the CBD that we have to do something with you, the private sector. We've already catalogued 91 of those and started to lay out a process of disposing those 91 across to you so that you can do something about it, please, Kendall. So the opportunity is business. It's twofold. It's twofold. Yes, get real-time information on the disposals so that you can be in the queue. Winston, your team, exciting. Winston, by the way, the 2 Winstons, they feel God has told them this is a specific opportunity for saints in the city. This is a specific opportunity for saints in the city. And if those of you who know the 2 Winstons, they don't just make stuff up. If God says, I guarantee you, they heard it. But that first point, business to publicly advocate, what am I asking for you there? I'm asking that you help Metro government advocate for change. So where you see a bad building, you try and do something about it. Where you see a particular company not looking after their place, write them a letter as KI. Where you see enforcement taking place, where SAPS and Metro Police and Home Affairs and so on go after a hijacked building and its illegal occupants and so on, write a letter to the newspapers saying, well done, please keep doing it, we absolutely need it. So the ask from our side is please don't, just be silent on this matter. We don't like being the bad guys all the time, and we do want business to please advocate so we can change the narrative and we can move the needle going forward. Number 4, transport and pedestrianisation. So within the next 12 months, in that downtown CBD area, around City Hall, used to be Smith & West, it's now Pixley Kaseme, Anton Lembede. We're going to be doing 8 raised pedestrian crossings and intersections. The additional pedestrianisation, which just means partial closure so that you can have more fun down there, on a portion of Dr. Pixley Kaseme and Walnut. Walnut is that road between the ICC and the Durban Exhibition Centre. And that's part of a bigger plan with the Durban Exhibition Centre and the ICC precinct with upgraded urban designs to make that a much more activated space like it is during Indaba. See if we can do that all year round. Shepston Road, smart meter parking systems coming in. Eish. Sorry about that, But tata my chance, tata my millions. And how about this for excitement? An inner-city tram system. The tender's already been put together. The specs are already put together. The plan's in place. And for those who like history, if you go back and look at some of Durban's history with the trams and the tram stations and so on, those were really cool. And so we want to try and actually bring a modern version of that inner-city tram system. So if you've got anyone in that space, Watch out for the press. It's going to get advertised, and we'd love Durban to participate. And so if you are a CBD-affected business, if you've got a business or friend's business down there on any of these issues, engage with the eThekwini Transport Authority. That's what ETA means, and we can help you understand the implications of some of these things. So 7 and 8 are put together. It's a bit of a busy one. So that's informal trade and the bazaars. A lot going on in that space. So here's the fire hose. Just close your eyes and swallow quickly. Informal economy forums, improved relations, bylaw enforcement. Traders now clean up their own areas. Spaza shop registration, ongoing inspections through CCTV, upgrading of different markets, upgrading of different sites. Centrum site is the workshop site, by the way, the workshop shopping center, owned by Vukile. And about 18 months ago, they finished a 100 million rand upgrade as a JSE-listed property firm. Refurbishment of a number of other businesses, whether they be for textile tradings, the beachfront shelters upgraded, Dalton Business Hives almost done, Mansell Road, space for 144 new traders, a bovine head market. So a lot of your ratepayer money being invested so that all shall prosper. Number 10, Inner-City ablutions. So yes, we roll out during the festive season more mobile VIP ablutions so that we can try and encourage good behavior. Please, Heavenly Father, drives me round the bend. Wow, there's not a petrol station that far away. Just hold it a little longer. So call me a radical activist, but when I see people do it, I just put my hand on the hooter. Please do so yourself. All that's required for evil to flourish is good people to do nothing. Please don't do nothing. I'm not saying get in a fight and start pulling out guns, but just in Christian constructivism, encourage them to behave well. We're looking at incredible new prototype designs for unbelievable toilets. Those of you who've traveled overseas, you might have seen some of these things. You know, you'll go into a space, it's fully stainless steel. You've got buttons. Is it a 3-minute job or is it a 7-minute job? You hit the 3-minute job, you get in there, you finish your business, you better be out in 3 minutes, countdown, go out, close the door, and the whole thing just steam cleans and sprays, wall, floor, everything, whoop, sucks it out. So our architectural department has already, in fact, got approval for advanced designs on new prototypes for additional facilities in the downtown CBD. And then we've got to revamp the existing stuff. So the tender's closed on assessment and upgrade of some of the current public ablution facilities. So you can see what I'm asking there. Please, business, can you educate and advise your staff? Simon Sinek says, start with the why. If you just tell someone, hey, and this applies, by the way, not just to public ablutions, but also to the previous slide on informal trade and spaza shops and so on. So whether it's on both of those two issues in terms of littering from trade or the ablutions, you can't just wag your finger and say, stop doing that. So please, business, in your staff meetings, start with the why. Just sort of explain why we should do this, and then pennies start to drop a lot better. We're halfway through, don't worry. I hope you had 2 coffees. Number 14, underutilized buildings. So multiple beachfront cafe sites, you'll see significant upgrades. One of them in particular, I think many in the room will have known Joe Cool's. Unless you were just, you were born a saint, you know. Unless you popped out with your halo polishing and shining there. Over the years, I'm sure some of you went to Joe Cool's. That's already been acquired by private sector developers. They've already put their plans in place. They've already been approved, and they're spending an enormous amount of money upgrading that Joe Cool's to be absolutely world-class, truly phenomenal, and along with many of the other beachfront cafe sites. We've had a number of property summits. I hope you've seen some of them advertised. Government-to-government seminars, G2G, so we're talking quite directly to the SOEs like Transnet, Department of Public Works, saying, hey, listen, your posse sucks, man. Asking them please to pull up their socks, because if they don't, we're going to do something about it. And that repurposing, projects in motion, Department of Public Works, marketing their sites, the main post office is right in our crosshairs. And it's a particularly sore one for me because my great-grandfather was part of the construction team that helped to build that thing, that main post office building. So again, it irritates the daylights out of me when I continue to see it in its state. We're engaging with the national ministers, we're engaging with the president, we're engaging with national business bodies, but please don't be silent on these issues. Please advocate, write letters, write emails, do articles into the newspaper, push, push, push. This is a scrum. Do you know, at that building, in 1908, the Union of the Republic of South Africa was formed in that building in Durban in 1908. When you walk on the stairs, there's a tiny little plaque on the side that confirms that. Please, let's keep pushing. Rivertown, that is kind of behind the ICC, behind that Audi dealership, diagonally across from UNISA. It used to be known as the Beer Hall, and then the surrounding Rivertown upgrades. They're going to be completed this month. So it's getting a lot better down there. I've put what you should do at the bottom of the slide there. Can I ask you to flip across to a dream, flip across to a vision, flip across to a bit of inspiration. Try and read the words on the bottom if you can. So this is some know it as Victoria Embankment. It's now known as Margaret and Cardi Avenue. New cultural, entertainment, retail users across an enlivened waterfront. Potential for new marina. We went across 2 months ago to the Global Super Yacht Congress. Cheapest one, 100 million rand. Most expensive one, 6.5 billion rand. Owned by one family in the USA. We were the only city invited on the planet to come and present at the Super Yacht Congress. They want to start coming to our city. They're tired of the Med and Caribbean. They want some African flavor. Not only those who own the super yachts, but also their manufacturers. Because if you own a Bugatti have to have a little dealership to fix it up. So in July, the manufacturers are coming. Just one of them. So they're based in Italy. Just one of them makes 400 super yachts a year. There's a lot of people on the planet with a lot of money. And they're starting to look at your city. So we're trying to, here's the vision. See what's on the left? This is the dream. So bringing the promenade around, past the cruise line terminal, and all the way along Margaret and Cardi or Victoria Embankment. We have a team leaving for 2 destinations in the UAE next week for the 3rd meeting with investors on this. So this is if you're at the CBD and you're overlooking the current yacht mall. Tram system. So watch out, Cape Town. So there's a couple of other aspects to it. So this is the entrance. You can see the Ferris wheel on the left-hand side there. And yes, we have spoken to the Great Wheel Corporation, the builders of the London Eye. Yes, they do want to come here. They don't need any money from us. They just want us to point where they want to build it and operate it, please, and they'll do it. London Eye brings in to London an additional 1 million to 1.5 million tourists who come to London just because of the London Eye. Ours, we're talking about, it might go there, or it might go right on our entrance to our port. So new residential opportunities, new entertainment spaces, new hotels. Floating domes treading lightly over the water. You see, we can dream, eh? We can dream. So you see that land that you're looking at right there? That land already exists. Many years ago, there was reclamation attached to the big yacht mall. 30,000 square meters, property developers. It's just sitting there. It's just grass and sand at the moment, but it's there, and we want stuff to happen on it. So that's part of the dream, that's part of the vision. So I said I would cover two things. That's inner-city regeneration. Now we'll talk about these PeWGs. So there's a particular politician, some of you might know Mike Maboyakulu. He says, no, PeWG doesn't roll off the mouth too easily. So, South Africa, the nation of acronyms and then words from acronyms. So he said, no, it's PeWGs. So let's talk about the PeWGs. Please, business, can you ask for the opportunity to engage? Organized business is expressly invited in. Some organized business bodies are already in. Please ask to engage. So what are they? Well, they're eThekwini working groups. There are about 7 work streams, and largely it's around public-private revitalization of Durban in 7 or so key areas. So we're looking to enhance the partnerships, mutual information sharing, joint planning, collective resourcing. Please don't stand there as business and say, I pay my rates and taxes, you must do everything. Please come to the table with something in your hand to help partner with the public sector so that we can try and build this place together. It's around implementation partnerships and material change for the better. The national leadership of national business and the presidency and ministers are expressly asking for some big, hairy, audacious goals. Nothing is too big for the dream, and they really are very, very committed to this. These are not the only areas that are being worked. I say that again. So in these 7 work streams, what I'm going to put up is not the only things that each work stream is doing. These are just the critical areas to progress within these work streams. There's lots more happening underneath each one. So the first one is around a much stronger public-private partnership framework so that when Toyota has to fix the substation faster than we can fix it, they can do it tomorrow, and there'll be a mechanism somehow to share the costs or even have a clawback through the rates mechanism that they will get the money back. So we're looking to fully complete that policy and process framework within the next couple of months with national business leadership, with national treasury leadership, and your prayers, please. Workstream 2, water and sanitation. That's an obvious one. That's all around infrastructure accelerations and institutional reforms. I'm hoping my colleague Bhavna Soni from eThekwini Water and Sanitation is here. She'll tell you a lot more, so I'll skip over that one when she comes up. Workstream 3, safety and security. Those of you who are in development will understand this thing, construction mafia. So we've absolutely put the thumb screws on them, from SAPs to Metro Police to the politicians to business leadership. And I'm happy to say that we are squashing their brains out and they will disappear or start behaving. Interestingly enough, SAPs need huge investments in forensic labs. I know it's a bit of an ugly topic, but we've got to get these things done. Port scanners so that we can improve our borders and what comes and goes through those. And homelessness, maybe not necessarily the best spot for that particular job of work, but there's a tremendous amount of work being done on the homelessness. Workstream 4, tourism revitalization. A lot more events, a lot more positioning and marketing. Thank you, Adele, for doing the job even better through your guys' workstream and your advocations at the start. Improving investments. Club Med is one, just by the way, that by this time next year, it'll be done and opened. Club Med's most successful resort on the planet is actually at Tanzania at the moment. Club Med are saying this one that they're doing is unlike one they've ever done before. All of the rooms have sea views and sea access. All of the rooms, all of the guests have the opportunity through a co-investment that they're doing in Big 5 Game Reserve and linked through to Zimbali Lakes for golf. So it's the first resort of Club Meds that will be linked through their own investments into Big 5 Game and to world-leading golf. And that Club Med investment alone is going to trigger international airlines, whether that be Air France, Lufthansa, etc. And we should have potentially 1,000 international tourists every 10 days landing in our city. Safety and security, we've got the Tourism Business Council coming in and reinvesting in helicopter inspections of the dunes, new tourism support vehicles, quad bikes to patrol, so that you don't have to bury your keys in the sand with your slops and so on when you go swimming. Number 5 is roads, bridges, and transport. There's 2 big focal points there. As I said, a lot more work being done, but the critical areas, that Umlaas Canal, which is really protecting, channeling for the whole of Prospecton. Why is that so important? Well, that greater South Durban area, Prospecton, is the second most concentrated industrial area in the whole of sub-Saharan Africa. It contributes 7 to 9% of national GDP, 7% of about national GDP from that South Durban basin. And Umlaas Canal, we have to fix that thing and protect it. IPTN is the Integrated Public Transport Network. Those of you in the highway area, thank you for living through the Pinetown rejigs of all of that stuff. Now we want to see the nice buses and the development rights taking place. Human settlements. You know, we've had far too many storms, and so critical areas are these transitional emergency accommodation. Do you know we've got over 1,000 families still sitting in transitional emergency accommodation because of the storms? 1,000 families. And so there's a huge job of work on Tongaat Hewlett land in that Cornubia area to try and start building, housing, creating communities, and then continue work on permanent settlements. As some will know, in that CBD context, there are investment opportunities in this space. If you're into social housing, what is that? You pick the land, you pick the building, register as a social housing investment company. Government will give you hundreds of thousands of rands of subsidy per unit that you build, and then you rent that out. It's rental stock. So there are very definite business opportunities in human settlements. And then the last one, communications, media, advising, informing. And you see, Adele, I'm stealing your lines there so that we can change the narrative, because not many people know about these presidential work streams. We have to advise, we have to inform, and hopefully we're doing a bit of that today, so that we can collaborate in spaces with diverse stakeholders to prototype and implement solutions to these complex problems that we have. So please let the sun arise over Durban. Ngiyabonga kakhulu, Nkosi yebenani.